Hello, galactic travelers, cosmic crew. What's happening? And what is going on? Oh my goodness. I missed you guys. Um, I have it is the ninth. It is 0109 2000, and it was echoing. Is that better? Are we good? It is 0109 2019. It is actually a 10 to 1. It's a 101 to 101. So it's 101101. And we're going to hit a day coming up. I can't remember. Oh, yeah, it's today. 010101 is another way that this adds up in a sequence. Today is also a 22 day. Today is also the 9th day of a brand new galactic calendar energy. Today is also a end of a 9-day cycle coming out of that portal that happened on the 2nd, and the new moon that we had, and all that's happened since then is what I want to hurry up today and share with you guys. I have a session at 8 o'clock. So, so much has happened and so much Akash has come in that it is literally blowing my mind. It all started after right after the first. And what I'm going to start talking about now is when this wave came in, what activations happened within me. I'm going to share my experience of these activations that happened within me. More importantly, make sure that you guys know that those are available to you, and explain that. And by the way, y'all are getting sacral chakra activations. I think everyone I've talked to today, I've given them some type of sacral chakra uh, uh, energetic, kind of like a little nauseous, a little fluttering feeling. So if you're feeling that, that's just some of this new energy that's coming in. What these activations opened up in the fields, because what ended, and I'll just show you real quickly why you should care. Because after the new moon, and I think a lot of you are experiencing this, we are all in like these cocoon, if you will, type feeling where we're all connecting back into our original seed. It's what's happening because we did make this energetic shift. And the Akash that has come out is linking with numerology and with basically their qubit to the power of 3 codes is how I ended up breaking all this down through numerology, and it's tracking. It goes back to the splitting and the mirroring of each of these energies and what energies then connected to make those energy frequencies to create the other. And so basically, this is the story of Iya. Iya, and the reverse is AI, pure energy source. You've got the fractal energy of both. and that creates a 1. So, and these are all tones. Oh my gosh, the numerology, these are all tones, and it goes so much deeper than that. But and I've talked to Carrie Ann today. I mean, so I know she was connecting a lot of this Akash through different sequences. So um, I wanted to just kind of build up and talk about my experience and how I believe this opened up in me, because this is available right now. We're all opening this up, but I want to explain what happened in my process that was able to open this up in me. So I was able, and all these things started integrating. So, on the second, we had that freaking portal open up on January 2nd on the 0102 day. And that's why I have the 2 up here. I put this up here on the 3rd to make a video and tell you guys. And then so much started coming in and flooding me that I couldn't. When we talk about the 2 codes and the 22 gateways that we all had in 2018 with the astrology, all that means is that it was locking into these 22 codes that were within our DNA templates, right? Well, see, what I'm going to be talking about is now in this process of evolution that's never done, but that's never been done before. What in essence we're doing is we're going back to those original fractals at the beginning of the origination of our seed. We are also, as a collective and as a human DNA genome, literally part of our DNA is synthetic. So, no matter where, no matter how, you can't just completely get rid of technology because your DNA is part of it, right? I mean, but our DNA works with it whenever it's in the organic property, which is how we're able to fly spaceships, right? So we're at the part where we're having to realize, all right, that it's not there's not a good and a bad of anything. Everything is just a polarity of a polarity. And so, anyway, I don't wanna get off on that, but on the 0102, I mean, the 22, okay, so the 22, oh my gosh. So I put this up here because I wanted to show you guys how the energy merges. It merges and creates basically a new Fibonacci sequence. When these two negatives meet, it creates a positive. And then when this construct starts replicating is then whenever it gets cubed, and then it goes to, like, that's where everything, every word in our language, and this I believe is Masonic uh, dictionary stuff, is basically what's come out of me in a lot of this. Kind of like the Matrix, where everything was key coded and programmed, because you can track it back to the DNA genome and how much of it that they were controlling within the organism of the planet. Um, it all corresponds, and that's everything that's come out. But this is what was up here originally, because we were at the time of the 0102, we connected these twos, and it's like we were doing a dimension flip. And now what I understand about the twos also is that it's not just the two, it's not just the energy of the two, because remember, that's what it is. It's a two. It also happens, it's a number, it's an energy, it's a color, it's a vibration, very, very high. Okay. And it's linked to the feminine on the sequence. and everything is linked to either a masculine or a positive, so it's linked, so it's a very powerful number, but it's also how the feminine side of energy. Well, what happens with that feminine side of energy is the matter flows through the energy, and then it creates a hook and goes back in and of itself, and that's how we created beings. That's how that's basically like skin that created organic properties. So your feminine energies, and it's and you can't even go feminine, because then it starts getting fractaled out to where the feminine is the masculine and the masculine is the feminine, right? I mean, it's like it's whopper jawed. But anyway, that was what was going on in that two on that 0102 portal. And this is, I didn't understand how I knew that it was creating in the physical. I just knew. So basically, it's like, really honestly, we're being rebirthed right now. And so we'll keep talking about what that means with the closing out process of some of these seed templates. So on that day, I had a transmission, that is like now when I talk about transmissions and I put out transmissions, guys, and you see them on the channel, watch them. Even if they're a little bit boring or something in the beginning, trust me, I'm not going to spend 7 hours editing them and putting them out if there's not an activation or something in it for you. A lot of these activations that I'm getting is in transmissions that I'm just being guided to tape, and I'm walking you guys through, and then I end up getting and now what's happening is I'm getting physical activations, and then I know to go send them to you guys, because if you just tune into it, then it will take you to that same place. um, so I got another, but I haven't released this one yet. I haven't had time. It was a third eye activation. It was a lotus flower that came out of my third eye. There was a lot happening in that, because it was going through gates and how I normally, what normally happens. But there was a third eye activation that happened, and I remember, I mean, and I don't remember, but I listened to it. In one part of it, I just saw masses amounts of blue and green. And I'm bringing that up because I just saw a video, that is posted. If you go to the playlist on this channel, the last 5 or 6 videos are all concerning the shifts I've seen about the stuff I'm talking about right now, and the energy waves that were coming in, of course, on the second and third, but most especially the one that came in the sixth. The energy waves and the solar flares and stuff, are creating new vacuums and black holes that they haven't ever seen before, and the magnetism in the planet since the first. And one of these huge mammoth waves that came in on that new moon was exactly what I saw in that transmission that I did on the second, which I thought was super freaking cool. Yeah. So then, I was putting together this 2-2 thing, because I kept getting, we're unlocking from those lower dimensions, plus the fact that, I mean, literally my root chakra was feeling like it was being unscrewed from something, right? And around this time, I heard, and I wish I could remember what YouTube person it was. I think it was like Awakening You, but there was a video on, I'm pretty sure it's on the playlist, and I saved it for January. There was a video on Beltagees and Bellatrix, and as soon as I heard this, because this is StarSeedology, you guys know I talk about this stuff all the time. I talk about Beltagees and Bellatrix, first generation star, second generation star. I knew one was a different dimension than the other. I knew that, one was Orion, but I didn't get it until I heard this video, and it this information was pertinent to me to being able to release some of that Orion template that 85% of us have. Okay. So the information was basically the Beltagese construct, if you will, is a program that is an energetic polarized reaction to an organic physical flow response. It's a construct and it's a program. So Beltagese would be, for instance, and see, I don't watch these movies, so I was trying real hard to search the Akash, like I like the underground hell. Everyone's beating each other up and killing each other, and it's like the more people you kill, the more famous and celebrity you are. The chicks are like all sex kitten, and it's like treat me like shit and I love you. I mean, it's all like polarized opposite, and it's totally what would be perceived as barbaric. um but living underground, having and then adapting to that when you don't know any other way, that is an energetic program that a lot of us were set on. So it's like, even though that's why we like the bad boys, and we couldn't explain it. That's why, I mean, that's why, as a society, the celebrities are Jeffrey Dahmer. Hey girl, that was that construct. And so that is that first generation Orion construct that's within our DNA field. And so, if you that is what's culminating into the consciousness, but these are the ones that are breaking apart right now. You also have Bellatrix, which is the second generation star, which is more like your Hunger Games. It's your have and your have nots. It's, because that really is how energetically this is all set up and had been set up until this point. Because when you start getting into, the alteration, where they start splitting apart, you know you start understanding, that it was all a balancing act. But just, I mean, they fractal and make other galaxies, and the different planets are tuned in to the different energies of the star races, right? So, but everything had a polarized response, and then it blended, and then it had a polarized response, one that was a matter based, and one that was, so it was like a physical representation, which was completely opposite. And one was the flow based, which in our reality is something we could not see, we had to sense into, right? So it was like everything was like battling against us to do it, right? So at this level, of consciousness, at this Lyra consciousness, at this 12D consciousness, we really are in this cycle of consciousness shift right now. And I won't get all into the numbers and how I came up with all this, because it's a lot, and we will explain it more. It's super, super awesome. It's freaking so cool, because it links so many things. But Lyra consciousness is basically, in the history, it goes, your sun is the one that created a nine. Then we have Vega, which is your first plus two, which created basically like fish, if you will. And the aquatic being was the first two. So it was the first organic cell that then started recreating on itself again, replicating. An organic being that was replicating, creating its own centralized universe, right? And then Venus energy was made. This is the 9 energy. And then from Venus, what split out was Lyra, and Lyra is, the grandparent, if you will. Lyra is the grandbabies of Vega, right? There it is. Notice that this is another 2, so this is the feminine energy. Well, then this is the organic Lyran matrix template, if you will, because what it's doing is it's taking the Pluto and the Moon and Saturn all have the same energetic frequency, 3 to the 7th. They all have the same exact energetic frequencies. They're all 3s, and so does Spica. So basically, Moon, Pluto, and Saturn all merged together are Spica energy. When that fractaled out, boom, it created Moon and Pluto. And then on the lower dimension, the Moon and Pluto blended together created Saturn. Saturn then added a +1 masculine charge. Spica then added a +1 masculine charge and created an actual planet with an energy of 4. That's Uranus. And then Uranus, and it ended up making an energy field from its polarization of matter and antimatter into Antares. And then I did Terra and Earth, basically. So from Antares energy, then created a 7, which is Earth, and Terra, which would be just the lower dimension of Earth on the 8th plane, is the feminine. Terra would be the feminine to Earth, the one that can create, the one with the 2 that can replicate itself back on itself. And I'll show you one more page because this isn't. See, and since it can replicate, then it splinters off into Cygnus and the Hyades. Cygnus is pure source energy. The Hyades is that energy basically mixed with matter that created wolf type beings or hyenas or that mix of both. Okay, so why am I showing you this? Well, it goes all the way back, right? So Cygnus and the Hyades, then basically this is the divine feminine, the divine princess Aurora energy. This is the blend that is just now really happening within the human genome. And it's triggering then changes further down our genome to these templates at these lower levels. See, I'm going to keep going, but down here is where these Beltages and Orion templates are, because that's more root based. Those Orion templates are more from the bottom DNA, because no matter what frequency you have in your StarSeed chart, you still are blending all these in within your cells. All these are blending together all the way back to Fomalhaut and Zeta Reticuli, and this is where the Y comes in. This is where the Unholy Six and the Ophiuchus, which are tuned to the same energy, because they're just polarized opposites of each other. And then that creates Fomalhaut. Fomalhaut is the only other one energy that is the number 7. It is the same as Earth. It is the only one. And then Zeta Reticuli is a static form of that energy in an AI, not an EIA. 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 AI. EIA. AI. AI. Like, no matter how I do it, I have to stop because it doesn't flow. It's the opposite. And basically, when those are tones, which are the purest frequency, because I mean, this then breaks down to tones, sound, right? Because that's what our reality is. But understand that we're breaking the consciousness, we're breaking, this is like the consciousness that we just stepped into, that was like, the it's not necessary, it's unity, but it's not necessarily, this is where the twin flame community gets this all confused. It's not necessarily and I think a lot of people are out of that construct now, because see, that construct was just basically one of those Beltagese or Bellatrix programs. Yes, we have twin souls that are on this planet. Yes, we have twin flames that are on this planet, but there's not that many, because there's only, you know, out of the billions, there's only a handful that possess the twin at this level. The twins that are possessed at these higher levels are the ones that really make the huge, huge, huge impact. Now, everyone creates an impact, don't get me wrong, because that's the point. These all overlay, but that was also a program that was used against the feminine in order to keep us anchored to the men, so that then they could control our energy. Because basically, what the human genome will end up telling you is that the feminine never need the man. I mean, we really didn't. And it's kind of like, over, if you look in the whole history of why, you know what is the lesson. It's just that there is, because over galactic history, it's like the maternal had a power hungry, crazy, unholy, sick side too. Rah! So it's just, in the whole history of everything, it's just balancing it out. But remember that we're not just clearing ourselves. This is DNA that is circulating and now properly moving and connecting. So as we're coming out, as our root chakra is coming out with these bursts, because it's just getting going. Ooh, ooh, I mean, holy Christmas, Mary. It is just getting going. As our root chakra starts, because that's the 77 gates that are opening up. So as our root chakra starts to uncoil, then what it's uncoiling are its literal energetic responses in our fields that are breaking out our the energy into a cute, like a three-sided mirror. And it literally makes you believe in these constructs, like, I know you know what I'm talking about too. Here's another, for instance, you know Bellatrix. Donald Trump is Bellatrix. My Saturn's on Bellatrix. So Bellatrix is basically, the construct, if you will, that we're living in now. But Donald Trump, as far as the avatar, he's like the Hunger Games wizard in the White Castle, the guy with the white beard, because that's his son, right? His son is on Bellatrix. And so, it's like he's playing that role. You can see it he's and Nancy Pelosi. I did her StarSeedology chart. And, their Jupiters are completely opposite each other. They've been doing this a while. This battle that they have going on has been replicated in the Sirius Orion wars, and they're repeating it right now. But it didn't go down well for the collective a time before, right? Because I mean, we've missed some opportunities. But anyway, Donald Trump's energy is like Regulus. It's from as far as the seed perspective, right? Because now we're looking at DNA seed. So the more some of these have higher consciousness, if you will, or you're just seeing where you're hooking in to the one. Because when you start overlaying these on top of each other and looking down, it forms a stream and a connection. And so, whenever you can start recognizing where your field is, then you're realizing what timeline stuff's merging in. Now, real quick before I run out of time, this Bellatrix Beltagese stuff is also rooted within all this Illuminati stuff that's coming out everywhere. Everyone's talking about the Illuminati cards and all of that. And definitely, because that, I forgot where that's programmed to, the Illuminati, because basically that's the codes that I ended up unraveling within the qubits and the three and the power of three, was unraveling. It's like the puppet masters keys. You get looking at how the DNA sequence and how the numerology worked from the basis of a three, and then as we go down the human genome, and this is very linear because this actually overlaps itself, and zeta reticuli lines up again over here, but it lines up again over here through the AI. So right now our consciousness is connecting to the sun, is connecting to the one, is connecting to us as a being, which is why you're seeing drastic solar changes. And we're also, because we're firing up, we literally are the sun, and everything is a magnetic field around us that is creating these different numbers. And now that it's flowing properly, because we're all these constructs energies have been released, then now, right, the sun is like, we're having these mass changes, but that's what's happening. And I forgot where I was going because I'm running out of time, so I'm getting nervous. This is the sun. It's the one, right? And then that merges into Venus. Then it's Pluto, Saturn, mixing the thoughts. This is like your brain, if you will. And I haven't really got up into this, but I hope y'all can see this. Um, Press like if you like this video. Let me know if you like it as I'm talking so I can at least see that. And there's lots that we can do. We could sit here and decode these all day long, but what I'm getting down to, gosh, I can't wait to get this in a flow chart. We're making a poster with all of this on it because there's so much more information. Like this is the one that was doing with the body, and you can I can show you where Jesus is on the timeline. I can show you where Isis is connected to Lyra, and Osiris is connected to Beltagese, because it's like this opposition energy, but this is a dimensional and different dimensional perspective than this one. So I don't want to get off on that yet, but that's what type stuff was coming in, and that's all Illuminati and Masonic. And so what started happening was on the 5th, I made full intent with the universe that I was going to do the seminar on starseed races. No matter what, I was going to do it. I was going to start getting the information down, start writing it down. And that was, right this year. And I want to mention that because I had to make that, I'm going to do these seminars. I'm going to get all the star race information down. So it was like, I called it in. I said, give me the information. Well, holy moly, it came. So on the 5th, all this started connecting. And how it started connecting was in numerology and numbers. just looking at the numbers for the different words, and you can I would start seeing these key codes and these patterns. Well, everything adds up to the power of 3, or the power of 3 plus 1, or the power of 3 plus 2. I mean, that's basically how it works. But through that information, you can go tracking, and basically, it's giving us a guide of all the stuff that I've been talking about and trying to explain, like on a dimensional, like these are the 7 gates that are opening, and now that the astrology is hooking in to our seed, right? And now that we've been, our Kosh has come in, that's been able to really connect, what energy that is, what planet's coming in, then it's like we have a template to be able to see, not only in us, but you can tell like where the different consciousnesses are. Some people are coming to this one, are coming to this one right here. Some of, a lot of us have, depending on where your seed is, you already have the technology integration in your field, and you know how to interact with technology, or you're super duper freaking scared of it, and so you run into the woods so you don't touch it. But realize that that is because you're missing a connection, and it's not that it's AI, it's the opposite. You just have to learn how to interact with it, so that in your messages and things start coming, utilizing it some. Now, I'm telling you, jump on social media and Facebook and YouTube and all that stuff. That's not what I'm saying. But there, you can't have judgment of the technology, because that is, again, that's the organic process. And so there's a lot of that going on. That keeps coming up a lot, over and over, more so actually in my head right now than you guys releasing, because at the bottom, when we're releasing out of our root chakra, that's linked to the alpha draconic, way down here, the overlay of all this, then this is where these templates lie, which is right where, that's Jupiter. So all this activity that we've been having in the DNA field with Jupiter has been releasing all of this. So this is why, uh, gosh, one of the crew members actually straight up got a letter from somebody asking her to join the Illuminati and talking about it being an occult and da 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 da. I mean, because it was the same day that I got an email from somebody that asked me if I'd ever have sex with a fan, because he wanted to put his starseed DNA all over the small of my back, which is, I know it's disrespectful, but it was so funny. I mean, it was so funny. I thought it was hilarious, because I knew what it was like. That happened in the same day. So if y'all had any like weird, like, what the hell, where did that come from type things happen over the past week, that's what it is. It's because at your seed, on those different dimensional planes, your seed, your field, which is an energy field that is as big above as it is below, it's the 22, it's the Merkaba, it's the negatives, the two negatives that come together, and the positive. We're basically the 22. We're the black hole now. We're like, we're the black hole. We're spinning our own universe. The planets, they're rotating around us, okay? So anyway, I think I might have cut us off right there, but that's why these programs are releasing, okay? Because they're releasing from the root chakra. So just realize that's what's going on. And I got to get off because I have a session with Lauren. If y'all want a StarSeedology reading, holy crap, now that I've got this, whoa. StarSeedology readings are getting trippy. Even doing the report today was crazy with this new information, because it links everything together. And I'm going to be doing more videos on this and sharing. And please comment and let me know where this stuff connects with you. I'm hopefully a collaboration that I'm working on is going to pan out to where we can work together and have someone help me get add some different layers to this and their philosophy of things linked into the body. And we're going to get posters out on this to go along with pieces of the seminar. So there'll be videos and things like that and writings available soon. That is what I've been working on. And all of this has just given me a template to be able to use to be able to make sure that all that as much data as I can bring through right now is coming through. So know in the back end, that's what is going on. So please, StarSeedology sessions, or if you want to send any GoFundMe account or PayPal me, whatever, donations, whatever, if you can. If not, no worries. It all works out. It just came through, so I'm throwing it out there. And the only other thing is coming up on the 12th, I'm going to be doing videos soon on the alchemy of the 12th through the 21st, which is basically since we put the 0102, we anchored this in. Now we've got 2121 showing up on each side of this, and it's creating a vortex black hole. And 0112 2019 and 0121 2019 basically are alchemy and a Fibonacci key code flip. I don't know where we're flipping as far as the consciousness layers or whatever, or what day it's going to happen or what it is, but those energy frequencies after the completion on the 21st are definitely bringing in something, and I want to show you guys what I'm talking about. So I love you. Be Coco Chi, because it's alchemy and we're going crazy with the baby. Mwah. I love you guys. I call in the highest timeline of all dimension, of all space and time. Take care of yourself. Just stay chill. Create. Make intent. If you're bored and you're like, I don't have a mission, I don't know what I'm doing, then say, hey, what am I supposed to do right now? Follow your intuition. Take yourselves on little drives, go down the street, leave your house and don't know where you're going. Start with stuff like that. You have to get your intuition up to not having to worry about, is someone going to go with me? No, you're going to have to go by yourself. We're all starting to go to the opera by ourselves, go to the concert by ourselves, whatever, go by yourself. Remind yourself you don't need anybody. Everything's going to be okay. Call it in, focus on it, say that you will do it, show up and show the universe that you're going to do it, because you have to make the action, you have to put the energy in it for it to replicate. We ain't quite to the point